We know it was Carrington. He had this watch on him.
But it wasn't, though.
It was. No, the skeleton in the steamer trunk was Carrington. He had his watch.
So the guy that was murdered previously is an imposter?
Yes. That's the very intro.
Yeah.
The intro.
Grant.
Who murdered Dr. Archibald Carrington?
So no fucking idea.
We don't know?
No. The walkthrough says Watney Little.
Right. Maybe it's the one person we've never...
Archibald Carrington.
Oh yeah, he was the guy impersonating him.
Okay.
So Watney Ageld, yeah.
Who murdered Watney Little?
Do you want to take a guess?
Detective Ryan Hanrahan O'Reilly! Yay!
And do you want to know why?
Because he's a cunt.
Nah, yes, but it's to cover up another crime.
Yes.
Who actually stole the Dagger of Amon from
Now, that's what I'm not sure about.
It was the imposter.
So it was Watney Little.
Yes.
Who manipulated Watney Little into stealing the Dagger of Amon?
Do you want to take a guess?
Detective O'Reilly?
Who is the woman involved in stealing paintings from the Old Masters Gallery?
It is the Countess. Remember that
Yes.
was the meeting we missed.
That's right, yeah. Okay.
Based on what we now know, your assumption is correct, Miss Bow. Good work. Who was the man involved in stealing paintings from the Old Masters Gallery?
Now, this we don't know.
Well, would be the best way to get a lot of paintings out of a museum would be to impersonate maybe the guy running the fucking thing?
So Ernie Leach?
No, Watney Little.
Oh, sorry. Well, yes, I suppose.
Based on what we now know,
It's frustrating that we've never seen this Watney Leach guy at all. Yeah.
Well, we did.
Did we?
Yeah, he was the Carrington.
Yeah, I know he was a character, but like we never got the name.
Yeah. He was the middleman who did the forgeries.
But,
Twitchy motherfucker.
yeah, well, it's at Ziggy because they want us at a place there. Yeah.
Based on what we now know, your assumption is correct, Miss Bow. Good work. Who is the high priest of the Amon-Ra sun worshipper?
That's quite recent.
That was Ramses Smith. Or Ramses Najir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's correct, Miss Bow. You're very observant. Which museum
Observant, he
employed
nearly
the
killed us.
fencing operation as a sideline business?
That was Ernie.
Yes.
That assumption is correct. Mr. Leach was moonlighting with his own business as a fence installer. In fact, that's a very nice thing around my house.
Oh my god.
I have one final piece of evidence to present, Mr. Coroner. I have an eyewitness who would only feel safe to come forth if I established my case against Mr. O'Reilly. Now that I've done so, let me introduce Dr. Patar Shep-Tut Smith of the Cairo Museum.
Slide.
Smith's testimony is safe with us.
Many thanks. I was in the Egyptian ceremonial room underneath the museum when Detective O'Reilly killed two of my fellow sun worshippers. I saw with my own eyes how he gunned them down without mercy when they tried to stop him from chasing Miss Bow. However, we only managed to slow him down. His hood fell back briefly, revealing his evil face to us as he slaughtered our people. That son of a camel should not be allowed to run free upon the sands.
Had a bit of a hump on him, yeah.
Testify in court to what you witnessed, Mr. Smith.
Happily, sir, my dead fellows expect their revenge. Although Amon-Ra will certainly destroy O'Reilly's car when he journeys through the underworld.
Excellent. As an Irishman, he'd appreciate that.
My opinion on Mr. O'Reilly's spirit in the next world, Mr. Smith. But I'm sure your testimony will help your dead friends sleep peacefully. Thank you for coming forth.
Foyth.
I must admit that I'm impressed by your method.
Especially considering we just nailed a guy who we actually never established during the playthrough of the game.
But you've also
Like-
uncovered the skullduggery involving the Dagger of Amon.
Well, we knew O'Reilly killed like 4 of them.
Yeah, we knew that already was the big bad in the end, but the imposter we didn't really establish.
Fucking Terminator.
Yeah. Like, we kind of just assumed that it was a programming fuck up more than anything else.
No.
Well, I did anyway.
That was the twist.
Yeah, I know that was the twist, yeah. That was kind of lost on me, I'll be honest.
No, remember the intro.
Yeah, the intro, yeah, no, I got that. Yeah. Solve dagger theft.
It's all that lousy reporter's fault.
Reporter, Jesus Christ almighty.
Damned interfering Laura Bow. Thinks she can get away with squealing on me, does she?
So, which one are you?
Well, she's got
You the
another
seagull?
thing coming. Do you hear me, Laura Bow? You'll pay for this. If it's the last thing I ever do.
Well, it is, because there isn't a Lower Bow 3, so... It was the last thing you ever did. Audible gasp.
Thank you for waiting, Laura.
And now we're back to the
I didn't
beginning.
mind, Steve.
Laura,
Yes?
would you mind? I mean, do you suppose...
It's a bit of a public place for this, Steve, isn't it?
Close your eyes. I have something for you.
It's a bit dodge.
Oh, I suppose so.
Huh.
Oh, Steve.
Do you like it?
Steve, how could you? How could you have stolen the dagger?
I didn't steal the dagger, Laura. I bought this copy for you at the museum gift shop. I
Because
thought you might like
this
it
is the
already.
this is the kind of event I want to remember. You know?
Oh, thank you, Steve. I'm so embarrassed.
You're beautiful when you blush. Laura,
Yes, Steve?
would you consider joining me for dinner this coming Saturday?
Well, I'm not sure if I don't know if I should really. Yes.
Wow, that's it took 5 seconds. Wow, that's a hell of a thing.
Thank you, Laura. You made me very happy.
Oh, Steve.
Oh, Laura.
Jesus.
Actoring. Actoring.
Now we fucking emotes.
Why? Right, so what do we actually... So, out of the case then, what do we actually... We missed a good bit there. There we go. Oh, yeah.
Nicely cleaned by the domestic beetles, Dr. Carrington's bones will soon.
Right, so we figured out he was being replaced by a...
By an imposter.
By an imposter.
Yes.
Yvette Delacroix died plastered. Her remarkably lifelike statue now lives on in the old Masters Gallery.
And that's fucked up, by the way.
Totally fucked
That's
up.
totally fucked up.
Her memory lives on in the minds of all she touched. The sculpture
Like-
is attributed to Ryan O'Reilly, 1926.
This is so morbid. What the fuck?
Pleased by your success at finding his Dagger of Amon Ra and his murderer, Dr. Pippin Carter now rests in peace.
I'm just taking your word for it there.
Pippin Carter's body was transported to Egypt by his cousin and now occupies a place of archaeological...
I'm sure the
origin
Egyptians will love that.
Amon-Ra in the
As
Valley
he
of the
spit
Kings.
past his corpse every fucking 5 minutes.
Due to your success at recovering the Dagger of Amon-Ra and finding the murderer, Wolf Heimlich continued as Chief of Security at the Leyendecker Museum. 2 months later, he was married to Dr. Olympia Miklos.
They're made for each other.
2 years after they were married, Wolf and Olympia had a child they named Morgana Wolf Heimlich.
What did he do 10 years after this, Laura? Do you know...
He died in the course of his story. Watney Little's life of crime came to an abrupt end. As he was not a nice man, nobody missed him. Due to your success at recovering the Dagger of Amon-Ra and finding the murderer, Dr. Olympia Miklos married Wolf Heimlich, who continued as Chief of Security at the Leyendecker Museum.
Again, what did she do 10 years after this,
After
Laura?
they were married, Wolf and Olympia had a child.
Hey,
I'll
you have-
just repeat it.
I'll give you one guess.
As fond as he was of the Leyendecker, Ernie Leach noted in his will that he wanted his body donated to the museum. His body now resides in numerous small jars of alcohol, which will be
Jesus.
placed
This is so fucking weird.
Internal biology, adjacent to
You were just saying all these ironic deaths are end up being their fucking legacy.
Tut Smith finally gave up on getting the Dagger of Amon-Ra returned to Egypt. However, once it completed its US and European museum tours, it was returned to the Cairo Museum anyway.
Because he wasn't British, eh?
So, several years later, Tut died a happy man, even though his death was the result of an Egyptian cobra bite.
Oh, just silly old Tut.
After losing his head in the museum, Ziggy found himself unable to continue his criminal career.
No, really?
No,
What?
really?
What?
Oh,
How?
God.
What the fuck? How possible?
In the life mask exhibit at the Leyendecker
Why? Why is his head being kept where fucking Japan is? It makes no sense.
He was an accountant and is head of the secret Egyptian cult of Amon-Ra. With his strong high society ties, his accounting business made Ramses a millionaire in 15 years.
Butt stuff.
Having died from a snake bite, the Countess Lavinia Waldorf Carlton did not live long enough to inherit any money from her last husband, Sterling.
She stays in the Linedecker Museum tied to the desk.
Impressed by your success as a reporter, your editor, Sam Augustini, nominated you for a Pulitzer Prize and was present when you received your citation of valor.
He looks happy about it.
Yeah.
He looks really, really chuffed about it.
Sam retired 10 years later to become a gentleman cabbage farmer, fulfilling a secret lifelong
What?
dream.
A gentleman cabbage farmer?
For success, Crodfoller T. Rhubarb was happy to become your assistant at the New York Daily
He's a
Record
failure.
News
That's what
Tribune.
he is. He's a fucking he is second best in everything.
Henry Lamore, the coroner, continued his successful career studying dead bodies for the next
Oh my
50
God.
years.
We don't care about this one.
We only saw this guy at the very end.
Yeah.
Ungrateful dead.
Well, that's a gag. Okay, fair enough.
Low fat continued in the laundry.
Oh god, do you know what? I was worried about the laundromat. I was actually worried about him.
Low fat Chinese laundries across the country and becoming a millionaire in the process.
Good old capitalism, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Former detective Ryan Hanrahan O'Reilly was sentenced to 60 years in a state penitentiary. Having been a cop, O'Reilly found it hard to make friends in prison.
Wait, 60 years?
Apparently-
He killed 5 people in cold blood.
12 by 5. Maybe got a few off in that good behaviour.
God damn.
With your success, John Bow spent the rest of his life telling people what a wonderful daughter you were.
He sounded like the person who would. You know? Look at the happy head on him.
Criminology. After your recovery of the Dagger of Amon Ra, it went back on display at the Leyendecker Museum. The large amount of press coverage drew many patrons to the museum to see the dagger.
The dagger.
After 2 years on display at the Leyendecker, the dagger exhibit continued on a tour of museums in the United
Yeah,
States.
you kind of mentioned that already, Laura.
Finally
Yeah.
found its way back to the Cairo Museum in Egypt.
And there we go. Right, that's us. And that is Laura Bow's second and I believe last adventure.
Indeed it is.
Oh, she died. That's a bit unfortunate. Is that you singing? That's you singing, isn't it?
No, it is not.
It definitely sounds like you. I'm just saying. You do have to have it. You do have
Yeah,
to
if
sing
I've been
voice.
huffing helium, yeah.
Well, how else are you gonna get the fucking note like? Oh Jesus! Oh wow! Oh icky boo! Fucking.
These are the people to blame for all of it.
Okay, first of all, Cynthia L. Swafford is not a real person. It just isn't. Okay. In fairness, I really enjoyed that game.
That was actually fun.
I actually quite enjoyed that game. Given the
Sorry, the mental breakdown says otherwise.
I was about to qualify for a Sierra game. It genuinely wasn't that bad. Like the story was good, the premise was good. It genuinely looks really, really well for the time.
It was well put together.
It's well put together.
Story wise.
Yeah. Again, a lot of the kind of.
I missed that one.
Again, for a lot of it's like again, you're always judging a Sierra game by its flaws, you know, kind of way, and you're never going to get a truly flawless game at this time of its lifetime, in a sense. Like there's still going to be a lot of jank and there's a lot of issues. As I said, like towards the end, it just overbooks
it was just jank. See.
Yeah, you know, it's definitely one of those games where like, how do I say this? It doesn't feel like a chore to replay it.
Yeah.
Because you can play it the first time and you know you've missed loads. So it now actually gives you an incentive to go back and try and see what you've missed. And then you go down through the cul-de-sacs and the avenues and see what else you're missing. So I think it's actually done that quite naturally, in a sense. Whereas like sometimes, you know, like if you had the point system in other games, it goes like, fuck, I can live with like 200 points. Whereas you're actually genuinely curious how this actually plays out, you know?
Yeah, but it's towards the end they'd resort to their old.
They revert to the mean, yeah. And in fairness, like
fucking goes up with the snake oil and the boo.
Yeah.
The cheese.
Yeah, unfortunately. But at least, at the very least, I think at least the Sierra bullshit was down to at least a relative minimum.
It was.
And I think that's always how you judge a Sierra game if it's good. If it keeps its Sierra nature at least to that level. You know, if it's not going to say, you know, do anything along those lines, then you know it's a good game in a sense. But again, almost sometimes the endearing part of these games is playing the jank and seeing like how they eventually do refine it. They actually don't. Let's be fair. Sierra games always seem to have that little bit of those little problems, but still, I actually like this. There's quite a lot of charm to this game, and like the first like Laura Bow game, you kind of accept its very blasé kind of way of putting the story together. Some things might happen in Act 2, some things happen in Act 3, that sort of stuff, you know?
Yeah, I kind of appreciate the fact that they let you miss a lot of stuff, but like trying to find out, like, how the fuck were we meant to realise that his boot was in the fucking armour room?
But as I said, like that is the extreme level of like, okay, we get the replayability and all that sort of stuff, you know? Like I'd be intrigued to see, for instance, like was Tut Smith meant to be killed off at some point if you've missed something, you know, kind of way. So obviously, if he survives to the end, you got your witness.
Yeah.
You know, does stuff like that now. I'd be intrigued. You know, there seems to be there's a lot of like natural cul-de-sacs.
Yeah.
And natural like little things. Again, even the playthrough we had, we completely like this. We never got the actual name of the body double of the imposter. It was just happened to be there at the end.
I think we did.
We probably did. I just can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, in fairness, like as much as we slag off the voice acting was probably the funniest bit of it. You know what I mean? Like like they made a conscious decision to have a lot of nationalities in this game
and have them all being represented by Americans.
Exactly, yeah. But like also Americans who are not voice actors.
No,
just lads around the office essentially. Like. Yeah, in a weird way, I'm kind of happy that the Irish guy was a villain in the end, because it meant that we were fully justified in slagging off his terrible accent.
He was the fucking Terminator. He killed like almost everybody who died.
He was in the IRA, clearly. You know,
he was in the RA.
He was in the RA. Yeah, exactly. Turns out he was in the fucking. He was at the Rising the whole time. If you actually just checked like one little piece of paper in the back there, the fucking proclamation is there behind. Anyway,
I just love that the credits actually show that archaeologist song was specially written for the game.
Yeah. Oh, you could tell. It was very evident, to be fair. But okay, so Barry T. Smith is the Scottish guy. That's just he needs to have a word with himself, to be honest. And there we go. Jane Jensen is the flapper.
Yeah,
lovely.
Well, we did say that when we spoke to her.
Yeah. All right. And Screams and Moans were all Pat Murphy. Ah, nice touch. I like that. And there we go. That is the end. Like overall, I think we did kind of okay there, to be honest. Like we got most of it, I suppose. But as I said, like we would have been here a substantial amount longer time. And there we go. Done. Alright then, so yeah, with that then, that's our latest SierraQuest done.
Yes!
And I think we'd be quite happy with our work there, Neil, has to be said. That was that was a good SierraQuest, and dare I say, was that one of our better games we played on this? It certainly started off strong.
One of our more enjoyable ones. Yeah, it started off strong, tapered off towards the end, but like almost just right at the very end.
It got convoluted towards the end, I think it's fair to say, yeah. And oh Christ. So I've now loaded up my schedule here now, because we're now in the hedonistic year of 1992. This is where we're at now.
We're now on the King's Quest 6.
Yeah, we are now going back into the staples. So we've got King's Quest 6, Quest for Glory 3, Police Quest 4, and Space Quest 5, all to look forward, and Leisure Suit Larry 6, and then Quest for Glory 4 again. 1992 and 93 are busy years. And like this, like we haven't even included some of the games that they self-publish as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be more in that time. But we're officially halfway through, Neil. We're at the halfway mark of our SierraQuest after all these years.
Yes.
We are halfway there. But for now, we're going to leave it here, folks. And when we come back, as Neil alluded to, yes, we are going to play King's Quest 6, where we are going back to Daventry. We are going back to the kingdom, as it were. But as I'm sure you might remember from playing King's Quest 6 all those years ago, because I know you're a big fan of King's Quest.
I am, yes.
You're huge fan.
Mm-hmm.
We're not playing the hench and built shit brick house King Graham. We're playing a soy boy, lip tart, fucking stringy Alexander. who the last time we played as him didn't even know who he was.
No.
So this is already an improvement. So anyway, until then, folks, we'll see you next time for King's Quest 6. And remember, you died.